Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today we are here with Michael Ryan once again with his Labrynth deck. You want to go ahead and tell everybody about how you've been doing with this one?
Yeah, this Labrynth deck has been great so far. I just got third at the Star Charity about 2 weeks ago. Like that, I only dropped one game versus Beecher because I didn't really know what it was doing, unfortunately. But the deck is super good. I think it's well placed in the meta right now. It can basically be positioned to beat any deck as long as you draw well enough. Plus, it plays floodgates and purple cards, and I like purple cards. So
Right on. Okay, well, should we get on into it?
sounds good. Yeah, I'll start with the main deck here. So we have 2 Ariana for the monsters, 3 Lady Labrynth. Let me get this kind of like this for you. 2 and then 3 of this, and then 1 of the lovely Labrynth. So this is kind of like, I would say probably standard, but you could probably play a 3rd Ariana. But the reason I'm only playing 2 is because I don't want to have too many normal summons for another card I'm just about to show you. And then Lady Labrynth, the big one, is like your main way to get everything going, gets you another trap. It's hard to out because it's not being able to target or get destroyed by card effects. And then Lovely is how you just do your hand rips. You only want to play 1 because it's a really bad brick in your deck. But if you can get rolling with her and get the hand ripping going, along with getting the recursion with all your traps, it's pretty oppressive, and you can just win the game that way.
Right.
And then for the last monster I have in my main deck, I have 3 Raw Spear modes. The only time you really struggle with is like if Cashier does a full zone lock for you. So this is the best way to beat it. If they go a Rise Heart Pass, you can usually kind of play through that. They might snipe a back row from you, but then if you have like Skill Drain or Compulse or anything like that, you just bounce it back your hand and you're good to go, and you have ways to play. So this is why I only play 2 Ariana, because this eats up your normal summon, so you don't want to have too many of those. But this card's super good. It's outperformed a whole lot. I love this card. I have been thinking about maybe taking it out, but I think it's too good to keep in for now.
Yeah. And I would say like a lot of what this deck is just kind of how you tech in like the last handful of optional cards.
Exactly. It's very malleable to like what you want to play. So there's a lot of player expression in how you build the deck.
Right.
So then for the spells, we only have 6. So we have 3 Pot of Prosperities, and then 3 Pot of Dualities.
Seems pretty good.
Seems not bad. You know, I like drawing cards. You need cards to win in this game. And getting to your most important purple cards, being able to dig 6 deep and then being able to dig 3 more deep. Super good to see any of your side cards or any of your main engine going forward. I would not cut these. These are super good. Then for the all-important purple cards, the trap cards, we have 3 Big Welcome, the new card from Photon Hypernova. Super good. This is like literally what the deck needed, along with Lady Labrynth. Being able to turn on Lovely by getting a monster and then bouncing one back to your hand to get a card on field or rip one out of the hand is super good. But the graveyard effect is also needed a bunch because sometimes you run out of interruption. And having this in the graveyard while you have like a Lady Labrynth or a Lovely Labrynth on the field can get you there in most games. And then for the other one, we do play the regular 3 Welcome Labrynth. You need to play as many of these as possible. If I could play 12 of them, I could.
Yeah, this package is insane.
It's super good. Like, being able to just special a Labrynth out is like, you read it, it's like, oh, it's just a Labrynth, but what the Labrynths actually do for themselves along with these cards, it's insane. And this card just keeps coming back.
It snowballs so hard.
Yep, exactly. This card comes back with any of your other cards that make cards leave the field, so it's insane. I love this card. And then for the non-engine stuff, we do have 3 Skill Drain. It's the best floodgate this format, I think. Best long-term floodgate, I should say. Being able to just turn off all monster effects. Your guys are big enough. You just win the war of attrition at that point. Like, they have to be able to get a 3,000 monster out. And for a lot of decks, that's tough. Like Sprite, a lot of their guys are weenies. Cashier, yeah, they're big, but they're not as big as a 3,000 monster. And they have to use a lot of their materials to make a monster that can get over 3,000, or to try to get into like a Dracossack or something like that, where you have your other trap cards to respond to that. So doing Skill Drain is really needed, I think. And then the other floodgate that we're playing is Dimension Barrier, or Dimensional Barrier, I should say. This is super needed, especially against Branded. That I think is one of the tougher matchups for this deck, just because of how much recursion it has. Plus, it makes some monsters bigger than yours a lot of the time. And so being able to call Fusion, being able to call Xyz, or like in the weird matchups, being able to call whatever you need, super good. Like even calling Pendulum, that like just kind of die to it if you're playing against Draco Slayer or Pendulum Magician. I think this card is super good, and it's a normal trap, so you can trigger Lady with it. So then on to the other traps. These are your removal traps. So you have 3 Compulse. Literally one of the better ones in the deck. I would say this is the second best one. Be able to trigger Lovely, normal trap for Lady, super good. Then you're playing 3 Dogmatic of Punishment. This one I think is the best one, just with the targets I have in my extra deck. It's super good. If I could play more of this, I really would. But you need to play a critical mass of all these removal traps just to trigger everything and to get the welcomes online again. So it's super good. And then we are playing 2 Terrors of the Overroot. This is in here because you need to see an amount of removal to, like I said, trigger like your welcomes, trigger your lovelies, trigger your ladies, everything like that. And these cards are good enough where if they kind of consolidate all the resources into one big monster, you can just remove that big monster, set like a hand trap or anything that they want, and you can just kind of keep it running. So I wouldn't cut this card, but I do sometimes take it out on the side if I need to. And then for the rest of the cards, we got 5 more. We are main decking evenly matched. This deck does struggle going second. So being able to play the evenly matched is really helpful. I actually did against Brennan once here, Common Collector. I evenly matched him game 1. He's like, he made this massive Sword Soul board and he had no idea what was going on. So it was great.
And if you open 2, it's still great. Like I even had that in my match against Brandon today, and opened up 2 evenly matched, and it felt bad, but then I realized that once I got past his Dragoon negate, then I could still wipe the rest of the board.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
It still feels good.
Yep, seeing multiples is not a terrible thing, because usually they have a negate for 1. And then the last 2 cards, we are playing the 1 Trap Trick. This comes up for we were playing a lot of 3-ofs, so you can kind of banish one, get another one. But this comes up for Lady a lot. If you run into the problem of you have a big welcome, but you want to get another big welcome, you can activate the big welcome, get the Trap Trick for just a later turn to get the big welcome going again. You have to eat 1, but usually like if you use 2 against like non like back row decks or non-trap decks, you're usually fine. And then the last one is Eradicator Epidemic Virus.
Oh boy.
This card should be banned.
Has it been coming up? Have you been using it?
I have been using it a lot. A lot of people side in evenlies for me. A lot of people are main decking evenly this format too. Along with Kashtira has been going towards a massive amount of spell cards in their deck. So making this and just calling spells or calling traps as soon as they do anything is super helpful, and it's just a blowout card. It wins you games a lot of the time, especially versus like the mirror match or even trap tricks. Like it just wins. So that's it for the main deck. Let's go on to the extra deck here. For the extra deck, it's just a lot of punishment targets. So we have 2 Elder Entity Entis. This is like one of your best punishment targets because you get to trade 2 for 1. It comes up almost every time you use it. It's super good. I would not cut it. And then the other one for a fusion is the Fossil Warrior. This is just a delayed version. Say if they only have like a Fenrir or something on their board, or just like a monster you need to get rid of, but they don't have anything else. You can send this to get an interaction on their turn. Super nice. And then we are playing 2 Garura. This is for another monster we have in the extra deck. We aren't not playing Super Poly. I wish we could, but we're not. But this is for another card that we have in the extra deck that I'll go over in a little bit. Being able to get the draw for everything, it's super needed in this deck. I think I would not cut it at any less than this. And then for the Synchros, we are playing 1 Cyframe Omega, just again for punishment, just in case we need to recycle something or take something out of their graveyard that might come up later. It's super good, and I like it a lot. And then for Xyz, we have 2 Dingirsu. This only comes up for If you need to go Zeus lines, I barely make it. It's usually banished off of Prosperity a whole lot of times. But it can come up a lot of the times. It can come up sometimes, excuse me. So having 2 is just good. You need to play 2, just A for Prosperity and B for Cash Tier if they rip one out. Then we are playing the 1 Aggregator. This is for Flunderies. For punishment, you can send it, and then if they get another bird out, you can just negate the bird. Just to stop them snowballing. It's super good. And then we are playing the 1 Zeus, just to get into Zeus with the Dingirsu if you need to. Again, haven't really come up. You usually want to keep all of your traps and everything going. But theoretically, they're very good. Then for the links, we have 2 Lingaribo. Just for the Ibly lock, you have room for it. That's really all it's needed for, just to make sure you able to lock it so you can actually get your welcomes online. Otherwise, you have to use your trap cards to actually get it off the field, and it gets really awkward that way. Then we are playing the 1 Muckraker. This is good sometimes if you need to get your Lovely back online and it's in the grave and you don't have a way to get to Big Labrynth. But other than that, it's usually something I banish as well, because you have to use so many resources to get a lot of stuff back online. Comes up in grind games, but that's about it. And the last 2 is the Tri-Brigade Arms Bucephalus. This is for the Garura, so you send this, and then you send the Garura, and then you get the draw off of the punishment. Plus a 35k K body, so it's like you're able to get over a whole lot of stuff.
That's a big boy.
It's huge, and I like it a lot.
Yep.
Then for the side deck, we do have 3 Ash Blossom. This is for Branded plus the Mirror Match. You need to stop Branded Fusion, like going second for sure. That card's super annoying. Plus, being able to stop Welcomes or just any like weird rogue matchup. These come in a lot, and it's super good. Then we are playing 2 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This is for going first, just in case they have like a Harpies or Lightning Storm or anything like that. Plus, it is a target for Eradicate or Epidemic Virus. So being able to like cheat out the EEV and then use it the next turn to like get rid of spells or traps or anything that you need. Super good. I like it a lot. Then we are playing the 1 Labrynth in the side deck. This is for really control decks is when I bring this in, because you need to get through all their back row, but they need to get through yours, and being able to make your welcome Labrynths also pop cards, super good, along with being able to special Fiends back from hand or graveyard if you use a non-Labrynth card. And then we are still playing the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Again, back row, you need to just get rid of it as fast as you can. If they're playing Lords, it's kind of awkward a little bit. But I think it's too good to not play. Then for the traps, we are playing 3 Solemn Judgment. We got to beat Evenly. Evenly is a killer in this deck, unfortunately. So playing this is good. I thought about playing Artifact Lancey as well, but you don't really need to. I think just the Solemns are good enough. Then we're playing the 2 Rivalry. This is for Branded massively because they have so many different types. So locking them into like a fairy on their normal summon of a Luber makes it so it's very difficult for them to do anything. Then for the Cash Tier Floodgates, we are playing 2 Goza Match and then the 1 Imperial Iron Wall. And Goza Matches are super good because all the Cash Tiers are different attributes a lot of times. And then Imperial Iron Wall makes it so they can't banish, yes, but you can also get this off of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Lord, set this, and then you can flip it up, and this won't be banished by the Lord's effect because you can't banish anymore.
Oh,
so
that's
this
spicy.
It keeps a recurring floodgate on the field at all times, which it's come up a lot, and I like it a lot. And it's come up versus like punk variants too. Funny enough.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, anyways, thank you very much. Any last-minute shout-outs before we wrap up?
Shout out Common Collector, of course, for always doing my deck profiles. You know, you're on his YouTube channel. You might want to subscribe.
yeah, that'd be great. And, yeah, definitely hit the like, subscribe.
Maybe check out his Patreon as well. I heard it's pretty good.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Also, we should probably just give a shout-out to Star Charity for where you were playing this deck.
Yeah, give us a shout-out to Star Charity plus TG Gaming. They hosted the event along with Jerome. Awesome venue every time. If you're in the Minnesota area when one of them's running, please drop by. They're always super fun. They do have side events too. I know they ran an Edison one last time. Also, shout out to the Mankato locals, Atlantis Hobby, where we're filming this. Always super fun. And then also shout out the Hutchinson one, where Brendan plays a lot of the times. EK, super fun. They run 2 tournaments a day, 2 tournaments every Saturday, so they get a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh in one day.
Yep, absolutely. Well, anyways, thanks again, Mike, for joining and for showing off the profile. Seems like you've been doing really good with it lately, so I just wanted to show this one off. And definitely a different twist than a lot of other people are running. So thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and definitely check out that Patreon if you guys are considering.